Growing up in the 2010s, there are a handful of unforgettable moments that define the decade.
As we go over the decade, we decided to recap the 2010s most iconic pop culture moments.
So, social media, that has been what I have seen that has been the biggest change over the past decade. I feel like social media has a great place in our lives, and I feel like social media can also be used to the detriment in our lives too.
In 2018, an estimated 2.65 billion people were using social media worldwide, a number projected to increase to almost 3.1 billion in 2021.
Social media has been probably the biggest cultural change and social change that has impacted people the most.
The other thing that I've seen in terms of the past decade, journalistic-wise, is a lot of newspapers and a lot of print have gone out of business. We all have our telephones, our cell phones rather now, and so we can just get whatever news we need on our cell phones.
I'd have to say that my favorite dance of the decade was the Nay-Nay.
My favorite dance was probably the Nay-Nay.
The Atlanta hip-hop group We Are Tunes is credited for inventing the phrase with their hit song, Drop That Nay-Nay, in 2013. The dance was based on a character from the 1990s sitcom Martin.
The most famous person of the decade was Lil Nas.
Justin Bieber, because he had a bunch of stuff happen to him, and he kind of grew up.
Like Justin Bieber, he was like real famous.
Justin Bieber became the first artist in UK officials' single chart history to chart concurrently at numbers 1, 2, and 3. He achieved this in early 2016 with his singles Love Yourself, Sorry, and What Do You Mean?
Up came out in the 20s. Yeah, Up. That was so good.
I like The Fault in Our Stars.
My favorite movie of the decade was the Avengers movies, Endgame and Infinity War.
Avengers Infinity War could be one of the most expensive films ever made, a new report suggests. The superhero film, which ties together plot lines from 10 years of Marvel blockbusters, has an estimated $300 million cost, the Wall Street Journal reports.
Okay, but for me, what I see in terms of journalists have become more of entertainers than they are journalists. It seems like now they want to entertain us with a story rather than give us the true facts and tell us what's going on in the world. I've also seen how mass shootings have affected our world. Unfortunately, it's just not one event. It's a long-term event, and we've become so numb to them.
A March 2016 study in the American Journal of Medicine found that Americans are 25 times more likely to die from gun homicide. It is going to take a collective effort over the decade to bring an end to gun violence.
With the defining pop culture events that we all remember,
we wish the Bishop Lynch community a prosperous decade of the 2020s.
This has been Isabel Aldrete
and Jewell Bland,
reporting for
Across Campus.